Ba Adonai, and welcome to Unity Life Mystery School. And I'm here today to present you with a very special interview from Graham Jones, the one and only. How do I still want to be here? I think you'd rather see me go. She dead, yeah, but I still see her. I guess there has to be a ghost. He's a hip-hop artist and he creates his own original beat to rap and freestyle over, and he's always coming out with all kinds of new work and collaboration. He has many albums and music videos, and it's very exciting to present this interview with him. And I'm going to begin the story by explaining why I would be doing this particular artist interview through Unity Life Mystery School. It's a very exciting. So here's what happened. A few years ago, there was a food bank that I was attending, and a lot of key things were happening there, but nothing like this had ever happened. Just one day what happened was I was there and this guy was in the food bank lineup, and just right away, like, I felt like his energy just totally took over the whole room, like in this covert, like subtle way. I just felt like his energy was just this, it was just so lit. Like it was this lit, on fire, sickest vibe. Like the vibe was off the hook, beautiful energy. And right away, looking at this guy, I just felt totally overwhelmed by this spiritual intuition that he was Kurt Cobain. Not literally, but that he was a simulated reality of Kurt Cobain. Let's say like Kurt Cobain in a version of another person, as like to how Kurt Cobain would be exactly if he was in this other circumstance, this other time, this other situation, of to this person what it would be if it was Kurt Cobain, in the sense that this simulated reality was Kurt Cobain for sure. It's just this guy was emanating that he was Kurt Cobain to me. Like I couldn't believe how intensely this came up, and this guy was so lit. I was like, oh my fucking god, that's Kurt Cobain. I was like, whoa, like the vibe. So I had to meet this guy. So like I came up to him and he was like, hey, I'm a musical artist, like my name's Graham Jones. Icy Teardrops was his name at the time, and he showed me his tattoo on his face of a snowflake tear coming from his eye, and he said like that it was for his name, Icy Teardrops. And I was like, wow, you're so cool. And then he goes like, here's my link, like check out my music. So I go home to check out his music, and right away I land on this music video of his where he's wearing a shirt that has like a huge, it's a really good shirt with the face of Kurt Cobain up close, and it says Cobain like in big letters, like really cool shirt of Kurt Cobain. And he's like standing there like with like a murderer's mask on, like kind of like in one of those freak show horror movies, like of a what is it, like the hockey mask, right, that it would be a murderer, and he's holding a knife. And like what I felt was like that he was like doing this routine, that it was like he's a murderer that might like kill himself, right, like as an outside murderer onto himself or something. Like that's just was my own impression of the video. I don't know if he would say that that's like what he was intending to put through, but that's what I was just totally floored that this was Kurt Cobain. Like I just felt like it was an affirmation of that. So that wasn't everything that happened. I like told him like, oh my god, like next time I saw him, I saw him again at the food bank, and like he looked so beautiful. Like he had this jacket that was like all these ornate colorful flowers, and I was like, oh my god, it's like Kurt Cobain loves flowers and perfume, and like this just emanates of Kurt Cobain. So then I was like telling him this story that this like all happened to me, and then I saw his video, and he said, oh, that's funny because actually like I just had my birthday. I just turned 27, and as a matter of fact, my birthday is only a few days after the death of Kurt Cobain. Like I was born like right after he passed away, and I was like, oh my god, that's crazy. Like, so I went on telling him about my views on simulated realities, and when I say that, I mean like this kind of simulated reality is a complete sensory fabrication within the mind, created by miracles of incredible DNA code, which affects the entire mind-body sensory perception. the viewer of the simulation, they would think that they're interacting with the person in real life, because it would be just as realistic a simulation as real life itself. It may as well be called real life itself, when in fact they are not really going through those interactions of physical activities such as talking to the person, shaking their hand, etc. These simulations would not be created with any kind of VR technology or devices whatsoever. And it is not about robots or fake models of people in that definition of the word simulation. However, with this ability, any technology would be theoretically possible without having to actually invent it. So we could have simulations of realistic robot people who are just as conscious as human life. You would never be able to tell the difference between real life and the simulation. So you would always be tricked, but my experience is like mystically that I could realize the truth beyond the simulations. So I told him that, and he said, like, you know, I feel like the whole world, like the whole universe, everything is a simulation in itself. It's like we're in an entire global wide holodeck. I mean, the fact is, it's like life in that sense is like a video game. It's like you're playing when you're going through like, you know, like panic attacks or like anxieties. It's like you're in the video game and you have to like take a little break out from using codes and getting out, and then you can go back in and stuff like that. But it's like, that's like how it is through this whole simulation. So like in that sense, like I don't know if I think it's that huge that I'm a simulation of Kurt Cobain. It's like, how is that any different from the larger picture that there's a whole global wide simulation going on? So anyway, when he said that, like in later talks, we became friends, and he doesn't say now that he like totally stands by what he said there. He says like, don't take it so seriously necessarily or anything like that. And like, I don't know if I really believe in simulations or whatever, but I was just saying some stuff. But at the time, seriously, I thought that was the coolest thing Kurt Cobain could have said about what was going on with this. Just my opinion, it was the coolest thing in the world. So anyway, he and I became friends, and I was like blown away by him every time we talked. Like literally, he was just one of the most intelligent people I've ever met. But it's not just like that, it's like creatively intelligent, like artistically so. Definitely every time that he's saying something, it's always something super deep, like he's completely registering on deeper and deeper levels. And I feel like honestly, he's like such a loving, sweet person. He reminds me of Kurt Cobain, would be such an intelligent person actually on so many levels like that. But anyway, we just resonated so strongly as friends, and we became really, really good friends over the years. And slowly, like I just started saying like, I've got to do an interview with you for Unity Life Mystery School for this thing about Kurt Cobain being alive, because there is a lot of stuff about simulated realities on the Mystery School already. In the 16 Keys support tool, you'll find that information, and I'm going on about it in different facets throughout the documentary, talking about these topics. And I want to include this idea that, you know, he might be a simulation of Kurt Cobain. And he was like, well, you know, like he's not claiming to be Kurt Cobain, and he doesn't have the experience inside him where he's like, I'm Kurt Cobain. He's not like that. Like he's a hip hop artist. He's this original guy. He's just unique. He's Grim Jones, and he is what he is, right? But he really resonated with me and resonated with the Unity Life Mystery School, and totally wanted to do this collaboration. So on the night that this interview happened, it was so cool. Like I had been going to a number of his performances in Vancouver. So his performances were completely off the hook. One night he sounded exactly like Kurt Cobain to me. He was screaming, like doing like a sort of a dark, heavy emo hip hop performance where his screaming was literally Kurt Cobain level, and it was like hitting some grunge tones for sure. And he was honored to hear that. And I didn't catch that on video, but I caught a few of these clips. final night when I got the interview was at this venue called the Kobana. So it's like, what the hell if this place is called the Kobana and he's doing this performance there as this simulated hologram of Kurt Cobain. So enjoy. Mako, Grim Jones, Mako Shadow.
Yes, ma'am. Long awaited.
All right, so like in your raps, like there's like, it's sort of like someone speaking about themselves. You might say that it's a voice, like someone, you know, a person or a character or something like that. Like, would you say that you identify with like who it is in the first person in your lyrics?
For the most part, yes. But I do also, sometimes I like to take like another person's perspective and kind of like just to have the creative like sort of like vision of someone else, so I can be more creative and have a more vast array of topics, pretty much.
Okay, cool, nice.
I'd say like 90% though is like from the heart.
Oh, cool.
Like it all is, but
okay.
yeah.
So
I'm kind of crazy.
okay. So at one point you actually deleted all of your tracks that had any guns, knives, or weapons in the videos or lyrics. And I'm just wondering, why is that?
Well, because I thought like, and I still kind of do identify like vibe with this or whatever the word I'm looking for. But like, if I ever were to like blow up, so to say, or like become more well known, I wouldn't want to be a bad influence on the youth or anything. And a lot of that kind of stuff is glorified nowadays, I think, in like hip hop and rap. And it's just like not a good look. But also like I am pro gun, like, and I am like pro choice, and like you should have the right to defend your property and like defend your life and all that if it comes down to it. So I mean, but like to glorify it is another way, like this ignorant kind of like, oh, black, shoot whoever the fuck, like for no reason, because like clout chasing shit. Not cool in my eyes.
Like, do you think that like rappers need to be completely authentic and like very, very truthful and honest, or do you think that there's a way to like sort of fake yourself in a way, in such a way that's like creatively valid?
I see what you mean. Yeah, I mean, I think everybody's entitled to their own expression of their own art, and that should be like up to the artist's interpretation, and at the end of the day, like the viewer's interpretation. Like that's the beautiful thing about art, is that it's, you can interpret it any way you want, and like what, even if it's visual, like you can see many different beings or creatures or figures in one painting that someone might not see any of them, and then there's common ground too, like a Venn diagram or whatever in the middle. But yeah, so like personally, I like to, like, if I'm gonna be trying to express myself to the fullest, I'm gonna do that 100%, and I'm gonna get real deep down and gritty, and I don't give a fuck. Like it's like open book is me, and I'm gonna like bring up all my trauma and past like fucking issues and be really real about it, because people can relate to that, and I find that is like, that's what I look for in an artist, to really, like, it's therapy, like in either way, if I'm creating or if I'm like hearing it from another artist.
Oh, good.
And then like on the flip side of that, it's like art is art, and like have like, it's like it could be a movie or a character or whatever, and like to get at certain things, because I mean, like, I can't be everybody or whatever, but I make so much music where I get bored of the same topics or something, and like that's why I love being a producer and make my own beats. Like I'll get bored of rapping or writing, I'll go make beats.
Okay, this story had to be censored out, but I just wanted to show this little part where he's like showing the alleyway that we're in with all this graffiti art, which looked really cool.
I'm an artist. I like tattoos and shit.
As an artist, so as a hip-hop artist, do you believe that your lyrics can be literally dangerous? Like, do you ever worry about the actual real-life dangers of what you say in your lyrics?
I actually really thank you for that, because I should probably think about that more, because like it's an Eminem quote, and from the song, like, words are weapons and words can be weapons, and we should all be more careful of what we say, because there's power in words. And that's why, like, some of the diehard fans that really follow my stuff, might see like go in phases of like really positive stuff, like very like uplifting, kind of just almost to the point where it's like cheesy or corny because it's like, oh, love everyone, oh yeah, think positive, everything's cool, everything's good. And then like on the next song it would be like some super like sad depressive stuff. I like to go all out in like whatever direction I'm going. If it's gonna be an angry song, I'm gonna be screaming like think of like a horror movie or something. It's like entertainment or whatever. Or like if it's a sad song, it would be like very like extremely depressing and personal. If it's a happy song, it's like bubblegum and lollipops and fucking rainbows and shit. Like it's just to the extreme, because I think like being extreme in art makes it have the most impact.
Awesome. So, do you actually have like any concept about it? How your music might have the ability to like disrupt the system?
No comment. I hope not. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Like the system's already so fucked. I don't think it would even. I'm not going for that. That's not my goal in anything. I'm not trying to be assassinated or anything. So yeah, I don't know. I say it's say less. Say less.
Okay.
I'm in it for the art. Let's just say it's just art.
Well, what are some of your main influences in music? Or like most respected
Just
artists?
Life. Okay, yeah, artists like going back really early. My dad would listen to a lot of Queen, Freddie Mercury. He listened to the other gay guy too, Elton John, fucking classic. Celebrate Grove, like all that. My mom listened to a lot of Beatles. My dad listened to a lot of Ramones too. Van Halen was in there in the mix. They also listened to all kinds of rap and stuff too, like Run DMC, Beastie Boys, definitely early on influences. A lot of and my brother, having an older brother, like listening to his stuff, he got me into like 50 Cent, Eminem, and my dad, I guess he got me into Wu-Tang Clan of it, and I was heavily into Wu-Tang Clan, the whole like Jizza Genius, Liquid Swords, fucking classic. Like for my 13th birthday, my dad got me Liquid Swords by Jizza, and like the whole Wu-Tang Clan clique, and entered the Wu-Tang 36 Chambers, and I fucking bumped that shit all the time, like, all throughout high school. Yeah. One more thing, I gotta say, like, recent influences, definitely, even like visually or whatever, like I mean, I don't know. I was already looking like and rapping like Lil Peep before I even heard his music. It was just like a coincidence. Oh, Kurt Cobain, of course. Kurt Cobain, Nirvana, obviously. Sublime, but sorry, but like recent influences like Deco or whatever, Oliver Francis, fucking yeah, to name a couple. Yeah.
Sorry.
You want to hear about the drug use?
Oh yeah. Oh, I was just gonna say that. Okay, yeah. So like for a young person who's like you know, in a vulnerable place and thinking about like getting into some hard drugs, really addictive, hard chemical drugs, like what would you say as your advice to say if that young person was watching this right now?
Like, think of everything you're grateful for right now, and don't try to go and throw all that away just because you think that it might make you feel better or cooler, or try to like fit in with a crowd or anything like that. Like peer pressure is bullshit. All those friends are probably fake. They're gonna fucking turn their back and fucking go away anyways, fucking rip you off, take your fucking money, rob you, all kinds of crazy shit, and it's not worth it at all. But if you are, I mean, I don't know. Like I saw my mom go in and out of the psych ward all throughout my childhood and stuff, and like saw how medications completely deteriorated her. I'm not gonna say any views, positive or negative about that, but personally, I never took that route. I chose to self-medicate, which is also another good route, but I feel like if I didn't, like if you're in the spot where you're gonna kill yourself, or you're gonna like use some drugs, probably like maybe use the drugs in like a safe way with friends and like be around people and like don't abuse them. I mean, there are like psychedelics and stuff that can help expand your mind and see different perspectives on things. Like mushrooms, acid, marijuana saved me from years of alcoholism and hard drug use. So I mean, there's pros and cons with anything, I guess.
Okay, So, like, you've been doing a series of performances at the Hot Box recently, and there's a number of artists. Also tonight, you have similar crew, and so there's a number of artists you've been performing with. And I just want to ask you, like, if any of those artists have like specifically had an influence on your style, on your music. You've collaborated with some of them, but like, how has it influenced you?
It's influenced me in a different way, not musically or phonically. It's more like it's let me see how it's more just the internet, right? The internet is one thing and it's so fake and limited in a sense, you know. People hide behind facades and masks and all that, you know. But they open up a whole new like realm of it where it's like in person and you're actually performing and people are feeling vibes. You meet people, you vibe with people, like tell them your story and they actually like see you for who you are in the moment. And it's much more personal. And it's just a whole other avenue of getting your music out there and your art, you know. And so it's fucking awesome. Marcos Main, Metaphor, fucking Shakar, Blackheart, fucking like S Wavy.
Yeah.
These are just some of the people. Fendi Fiend, who I met tonight, was fucking awesome.
Yeah. So, like, in some hip hop lyrics, there are artists who are like proclaiming themselves to be, you know, like dangerous motherfuckers and like gang and all these things
Gods.
when they're not really all that.
Yeah.
And that's like what they call like posers and stuff like that. So like, what's your take on that? Like with like posers in hip hop?
All that really depends on the person's intentions, I think, because I've had my own poser songs or whatever, but that was the intention of making people laugh and being entertaining and all that. But if somebody's really trying to act like they're all that and they have this huge ego and they're some fucking narcissist or some shit, it's kind of a different story. This is a big, deep topic I could go into, but yeah, it's pretty much outlined.
Okay, sweet. So, like, what would you have to say about your fan base?
I love them. I love them. I love them. I mean, it's a slow climb. It's like, I don't know, like, you know, you're supposed to have like a brand or whatever, but I make all this left field, all this different kind of shit, and it's all over the place, so, like, they never know what to expect. So, like, some of them might fall off, and then I make new fans, though, with some crazy shit, and it's like, some leave, some come back.
Nice.
I mean, it's like I can't, like, I'm not entitled to anything, so I can't, you know, it's like, it's a hard question to answer.
Cool.
It's
Cool.
all love, though.
Well, for you, like, what is it that you love most about music? Like, some of the things that you value the most about it, like, about being a creator in that way?
Great question. Like, pretty much just, like, how it's affected me as a listener and, like, a consumer of art in general. Like, it can be life-saving, it's therapeutical, it's just, I don't know. And I like to, I don't know, I've always been kind of a black sheep. Hezbollah the black sheep, can probably relate to. And I don't feel like I have that many avenues or passions, and this is really just it for me. So, I mean, you know, like...
Yeah.
Have a good one, brother.
How are you?
Good, man.
Well, like...
He's on the phone, he's not having
Oh, okay. Is there anything else that you want to add?
Living life, making the most out of it. Just, yeah, don't let anybody tell you who you are. Don't let anybody put you in a box and, like, label you, because that can be very limiting. And just express yourself in the truest form and just have fun and try to enjoy life.
Nice. I love it. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That was so nice. Please save that. Make sure that's all saved. and good.
Okay.
That was fucking beautiful.
Green John, señoras y señores, Green John, directo desde la isla.
Taking over from the game, she goes my brain, rolls with the day, rolls my dream, Southwest, Northwest, falls on over, thousand, gold, thousand, gold. I know what I want, yeah, know what I need, yeah. Come up with the speed, yeah, all the cheese, yeah. I'm a great big people, something that yeah. From my simple people, all the doors are Appreciate all you motherfucking social love. AC Pro, Pushwing, that's for everyone.
That's for everybody. Thank you, thank you. Hey, can we have? How can we find you on social media? Spotify, YouTube. What do you got?
I'm on everywhere. I'm on everything.
Okay. You can find me
Yes, sir.
Spotify.
Grim Jones, fucking all over the place. Oh my God.
Thank you so much, man. Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it. For sure. Alright, so, un pequeño recordatorio que vamos a tener una fiesta de techno después de las 10, entonces para que se queden.